Welcome to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Juicy. We're doing our LSU versus USC 2024 preview here on live here on the Fishbowl Radio here. So, how you doing, Juicy?
Oh, I'm good, man. How you up? What you up to?
We're burning a little bit of a night oil, like you would say, right? Not really midnight oil yet, hopefully not. But we got a bunch of games we got to pick here for the top 25 as well. Once we get done talking about this LSU USC.
That time of the year. Whoop, whoop.
Yep, that time of the year. Football is back. LSU USC will kick off on Sunday. So, got a lot of games to get to. They start on Thursday, August 29th, basically, when we do these top 25 pickup. But before we get to the games, let's talk about this matchup with LSU and USC. Juicy, what position group you think is going to have the most impact on this game when the Tigers take the field in Las Vegas?
Honestly, I'm going to have to say the offensive line and the running backs because, with Jaden Daniels gone, with the mobile quarterbacks we had the past couple of years, went on to be first-round pick, Heisman Trophy winner, replacing that with Nussmeier now. We said it a few times in the previous few podcasts about he's not Jaden Daniels, he's not mobile, so can you run the ball more, keep the clock rolling, dominate the line? That, to me, I think that'll be the biggest one, is being able to run block for those running backs.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there with the offensive line. I think having the offensive line is going to be a big pivotal role in this game here because I think LSU is going to have an advantage up front against USC's
LSU
front.
has a lot of experience on the offense. That's probably one of the most experienced.
That's why I think you got guys there that have been around the system with Brian Kelly. They know how blocks they're supposed to set up, when they run block, when to pass block. They know this playbook very well, so they've been around and been in situations where they've been down in games and they've been able to come back and win games. And the only difference is, I think Nussmeier, is he going to be a gunslinging quarterback? Is that going to really affect the game as much as you would see here? So I think having that there is going to be a really big thing. Do you let him just throw the rock around, or like what do you think? You think Brian Kelly's going to do? Maybe throw some like little routes in the flat to get him warmed up, and then maybe take shots down the field. How do you think Brian Kelly's going to approach Nussmeier in the center on Sunday?
Honestly, I keep saying, I believe for the first half, it's going to be a little bit conservative, a little bit short. They're going to kind of hold him back, but they're going to let him get a feel for it. I mean, he did have a little bit. I mean, if you want to count the bowl game last year, he did have he got his feet wet, per se, is what I was trying to say. But now is where it really matters. Now I think they're going to test the waters, at least for a half, maybe for a quarter and a half, and then they'll kind of, if everything's going right and have a balance of run and pass, I think they'll be okay with them slinging it more down the field.
I think if I'm Brian Kelly, I'm taking a home run shot in the first play of the game.
Why not? I mean, nobody's expecting it.
Yeah, what exudes confidence in your quarterback than going out on the field in that first play of the game and you chucking it deep down the field and saying, "Hey, let's see if you can throw to my receiver."
I want you to just throw it as far as you can first.
Let's get them safeties back up there, right? Especially if they're creeping up there or whatever. I mean, like if they're playing 5 yards off the ball and they're being a fourth 8 man in the box, that kind of situation. And shoot, man, that safety's coming in on a blitz. If he's coming up that much, they're not going to drop him back in the coverage because he's right there. He's got to get to the quarterback. If not, then they're going to give up 6 because USC's corners, I think, will be able to stay with LSU's receivers for the most part. I don't think there's going to be a big gap there as much. USC's California itself is a big prime recruiting ground, but I think LSU's got a good set of receivers here. I do think that physicality up front with, like you said, the running back core and the position groups of the offensive line. I think, like I said before, I think LSU does have an advantage in that regard where I think they're better knock that defensive front of USC back. I think that's going to really going to be able to establish the inside run for sure against USC's defense. I don't think they'll be able to stop them up front. So I do think USC will probably put a fourth man in the box, lined up as like a nickel a guy in the nickel slot there, like a nickel corner basically, kind of like hybrid linebacker, that kind of thing. A safety drop down low right there and be able to maybe penetrate into LSU's backfield basically and
To
see how that
me,
goes here.
can you run the ball, especially enough and well enough to set up the pass game more later on in the game too? That's another thing.
Yeah, you gotta, if the running game isn't getting it done, you gotta pass to open up the running game, and if the passing game isn't getting it done, you gotta get the running game going to set up the passing game. I mean, it it's they work. It's a working relationship between both styles of playing. On offense there for sure. So, what do you think about USC on the offensive side of the ball, Juicy? How you think they're going to be able to attack LSU's defense?
Well, they've lost a good bit, especially like losing Caleb Williams last year. I mean, however you feel about Caleb Williams, I think he's kind of. I always kind of thought he was overhyped, but I mean, whatever the statistics and the show for themselves, I guess. But having to replace Caleb Williams, I mean, they lost. I can't think of Jerry Rice's son's name. He's gone too. So I mean, USC. I think Lincoln Riley is going to try even more than LSU. At least Nussmeier has, has been there for going on his fourth or fifth year now, and USC's the quarterback. I don't remember his name offhand, but he's not. I mean, obviously he's got even less experience and less time in the system. So I definitely think USC is going to be playing much more conservative. They have much more to lose.
Well, they are starting a new conference this year in the Big Ten here. And with the SEC, there's no, how would I say, there's no divisions. Basically, there's no East, West. That's done with here. So you get in the top two spots there in the SEC championship game. Winner gets an auto bid to the college football playoff. Loser probably gets
The
in
loser probably would
regardless.
actually still get in the playoffs.
Yeah, I
Actually,
think even at large there, it just depends on how it all shapes out to be there. But this isn't a conference game. But I mean, like, this does play a role in that at large discussion when we get to the end of the year. So I do think we do need to bring this up, though. Brian Kelly hasn't won an opening game since he's been at LSU. This trend has been going all the way back to when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and the 2019 LSU Tiger squad. That was the last time LSU won an opening game to start the season. Juicy, what you think? You think that changes this Sunday?
I think so, man. I believe it's. I believe the physicality LSU experienced offensive line. I think that's just where it's going to be won this time around. I think LSU is going to handle their business this time.
I do want to see LSU do like this hybrid, like spread slash smash mouth football style that they've done very well in the past. Obviously, if you look
Well,
around
that
at
was the
the
Les
core here,
Miles. That was the Les Miles. Let's talk about the Les
I, I
Miles.
I think that's the best kind of offense to run. If you can do like if you can get a hybrid version of that where you can do smash mouth things and also do spread offense things here, like a physical football team, that I think that would be very well received here, especially in these days now where everybody tries to rely on quickness to beat somebody. Just run it up the gut here. I mean, hey, it's hard to stop somebody that keeps coming after you time and time again, basically. So I do think that's going to be something that we're going to have to see as the season progresses, how all that goes there. So, with that being said, here, I do think LSU's physicality does take over this game here. I thought they were going to beat Florida State last year. Florida State ended up making the college football playoff. Well,
Well,
almost
no,
made the
they
college
got
football
robbed.
playoff.
They got
They got
snubbed.
the drama of the college football playoff. Then they lost last week when they played Georgia Tech. So there, yeah, this the drama of all that going on there. Georgia thought they should have got in. They lost the SEC championship game. You had FSU very upset about not making it because of having a perfect season ACC. So I mean, it was a needed change. I thought 12 is a good number here. Some people want to go up to 16. I'm kind of want 16 just for even number purposes, kind of more line, have more teams in there. I think it makes it more interesting for sure. But at some point, we got to like, okay,
12 is
what's the
better.
cutoff?
12 is better than 4.
Yeah, I think they should start off at 12 there or even 8. We'll see how that goes though. For sure, because I think the drop off between your top 12 and your rest of your teams are kind of like, there's a significant drop off once you rank 12 to like 15. So I like in terms of like talent wise, you're going to probably get the top best 12 teams in the country here. But yeah, I will keep saying this for the rest of the season as a public service announcement. So when we get to the end of the season, people are not like, man, we're ranked number 11. Why didn't we get in? It's because it depends on who wins the conferences, basically. If you have a team that lost all their non-conference games and they went into their conference, like let's say, for example, I'll use the SEC since LSU's in there. Let's say LSU lost all their non-conference games they have playing. I know, very unlikely, but just go with me in this scenario here. They could potentially still get into the college football playoff if they run the table and win every single SEC game they play against and win the SEC championship. In that scenario, they would get the auto bid into the college football playoff, even though they lost all their non-conference games. They probably be ranked probably 20 something or whatever, but they could still technically get in that regard because of the auto bids. That's the way it's written. But they'll
UL's
probably be
technically got a chance to get in
yeah,
too.
UL if they become the highest G5 conference champion,
Yeah.
ranked conference champion, they'll get in or even like
So
highest poll rank. So the
UL's
G5 is
technically
going to
got a
get a
chance.
team in every year under this system here. So
So
that's
G5 is
exciting
going to have a
for
chance too.
yeah. I've always said I wanted them to have a seat at the table. Now they actually got one, so we'll see what they do with it here. But I don't think the posters always pick the best G5 team to actually compete. But so that's my only tangent about it. But at least they have to win a conference championship to be able to compete. So I do think that conference championships do have a big weight, more of a weight than they've had in the past with the college football playoff for sure. I think that's going to be a very big one for sure. So we'll see as that goes along how this season progresses, and there's gonna be some people gonna be upset what the committee does and stuff. I probably will be at some points on who they should put at 10, 9, 8, all this other stuff. So we'll get down to that though. I do think LSU up front though is going to dominate USC's defensive front. I think that's gonna be the biggest key in the game here. How that plays out here. As long as Garrett Nussmeier and you limit turnovers and stuff, you should be able to pick up a win against USC for sure in this game. So I do think that is a big reason to pick LSU because of that experience up front with their offensive line. I think that would be a key in this game here.
I
So
think they're at 6-point favorites, but I think it'll be about four. I think it'll probably be at least double that. I think LSU should.
what's your final score prediction in the game, Juicy?
Final score prediction. I'm gonna say 40. I'm gonna say 42 to 24. LSU.
Okay. I for some reason I think that's a little high. The 42 points because I'm just thinking of I know USC's defense wasn't great last year. Um,
Neither
but
was
I know that's last year's
LSU.
team. Yeah, LSU. That's one I'm kind of worried about. How much did LSU's defense get better? Brought in a new coordinator. How do you think they're going to do, Juicy?
I think. I mean, honestly, I don't think it could have gotten any worse. I mean, anything this year would be an improvement, even if they have somewhat of a decent defense. I mean, but I definitely think with Blake Baker, I mean, from what I've heard and read reports on, the defense looks much better. In the spring game, the only thing I really have to go off of is the defense looked much better, from what I understand in the spring game, at least.
I did watch it. They did look like they were able to tackle a little bit better in it, be able to stick in coverage. But spring games are tricky.
Mm-hmm.
They are either you're really great at defense if you shut down an offense in the spring game, or that offense is really bad and you just got inflated, you know. But I do think that LSU does return enough of I think their offense is gonna be good. So 6 point favorites from Vegas here.
Tell you what, I'll say like
I
30.
keep thinking the number that keeps popping in my head is 31. I think
I was
LSU is
gonna
going to score 31 points in this game.
I
I
was
think
gonna dumb it
USC.
down to
I think
31 to
17.
I was gonna say
I think
31 to 14. I was gonna go down to 31 to 14.
because I'm just thinking of first game jitters. You know, you're always a new team. You're replacing guys like LSU's replacing some skill position guys. I know you got Kyron Lacey out there on the outside. You know, he might be able to get open for you and be able to make some plays for you. So, can he be a good wide receiver one for LSU? We're gonna find out whenever we get down to it. There, I think 31-17 is a very good score prediction for LSU and them. So that's who I'm thinking how that's gonna go. So let's get down to picking the top 25
I know
games.
we got a big one with Clemson and Georgia.
Yep, here we go. All right. Throw that graphic up there real quick. Let's get this thing going here. So our first top 25 game that we got is West Carolina versus number 24 NC State. NC State's favored by 33 points. So, Juicy, do we have an upset in this one or not?
No, I don't think so. But if it would happen, it'd be week 1. But I don't think so.
Yeah, week one's always been one of those that you got to kind of watch out for with some of these lower ranked teams coming in there, or like low non-ranked teams, unranked, spoiling the opening party like Georgia Tech did with Florida State here. So I got NC State beating West Carolina. So next game we got Murray State versus number 11 Missouri. Missouri up 46 points here. They're giving Murray State 46.5 points. Honestly, with that much of a spread, I would definitely take Murray State if I was a betting guy, but we're doing straight picks here. Who you got, Juicy?
No, I'm gonna take Missouri.
Yeah, I got Missouri winning that one too. Lindenwood versus number 22 Kansas. Another high point spread. Kansas coming in as 45-point favorites in this one
Kansas
here.
is ranked.
Yep, number 22. What you thinking, Juicy?
I'm just shocked Kansas is ranked, but yeah,
Kansas actually had a pretty good team last year. They got a little bit better in the transfer portal.
But yeah, I'm gonna take Kansas. Yeah, they trying to real quick from what I understand, but they trying to throw more money into their football program and not so much just be a basketball school. So that's what I understand.
Hey, that's what's moving the needle these days. Football. I got Kansas though winning it since all the sponsors and everything have came into college football in recent years, like even more so than in the 2000s and stuff, which triggered this realignment with the TV contracts and everything. So that's why we got. That's what we got. What we got now. That's why everything is the way it is. So Southern Utah versus number 12 Utah. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh, I got the Utes.
I have Utah beating Southern Utah. They're favored by 38 points in that one. I wonder who's going to have the highest point spread this week here. So far, the highest one I've seen is Missouri at 46.5 in the top
I think
25
Ohio
game.
State had like a 50-point spread over somebody.
I hadn't looked at Ohio State yet, so I'm kind of curious to see how when we get down to it and see where it's going to go. Temple versus number 16 Oklahoma, a 42.5 point spread. This is the last game that's not going to be on a Saturday here. So, who you got, Juicy?
The Sooners.
Give me the Sooners as well in this game here. All right, next up on the list, number 14 Clemson taking on number 1 Georgia. Who you got,
There we
Juicy?
go. Ooh,
13.5
man.
point favorite to Georgia.
Yeah, I guess I'll give it to Georgia. I was thinking about maybe picking an upset, but nah, I'm not quite confident enough. I'm gonna go with Georgia. I do think it'll be less than the point spread though, but I think Georgia will win this one.
It just depends, like because Dabo was kind of against using the transfer portal. He's used it a little bit more this year. They've had some coaches that have been kind of against using it instead of when they want to develop their own guys and get it going that way. I think Georgia is going to win this game. This is an early kickoff at 11 a.m. But I think 14 points is about right where this game is at, which I kind of agree with Vegas on that one because
I think it'll be a little bit less than that.
I think Vegas has kind of got this. Clemson hasn't looked like Clemson in the last couple of years, like they were in the 2010s and stuff. So I know Clemson seems like they're on a downhill slide a little bit. They haven't been able to keep up with the rest of their quality of program has definitely went down the last couple of years. So give me Georgia to beat Clemson in this game here. Number 8, Penn State versus West Virginia. Juicy, who you got? Penn State's 8-point favorites.
I got Penn State. I'll take Penn State in this one. This one might be closer than what people think, though.
Yeah, it's 8 point. It's 8 points. Like literally, West Virginia, they're not Penn State's favored by 8 points in this game. So this one, Vegas is calling this one close, one possession. Um, this, you know what? I'm a pull an upset because I feel like I got to get one somewhere in here. Give me West Virginia to upset number 8 Penn State at home.
Oh,
I think
nice.
West Virginia is going to get a home win. They're going to be jacked in Morgantown. I'll tell you that much. Give me the upset.
Go ahead.
Illinois State versus number 25 Iowa, 22.5 point favorites here. Who you got, Juicy?
Well, Illinois, Iowa's struggled like with to have offense the past couple years. In fact, last year they almost lost to South Dakota State. They beat them like 5-3 or 5-2 or something like that. I don't know if you remember that. That was the beginning of the
Yeah, I
year.
remember that one from last year.
Uh,
Crazy.
that was at the beginning of the year. Man, I'm almost tempted to pick the FCS, but man, I'm gonna go with Iowa on this one. But I'm kind of nervous actually.
I would understand that for sure. I think Iowa's going to be able to do enough to win this game here. I think 22.5 is being generous with them here. They might have fixed their offensive issues here.
I hope because Kirk
Yep.
Ferentz is about
Yeah,
to
I
be a
mean,
done man.
they like I don't know if they got a new OC or not, but I think Iowa wins this one though. Chattanooga versus number 15 Tennessee. I got Tennessee winning this
Oh,
one
this one
hands
ain't even
down.
gonna
Who you
be
got, Juicy?
close. This one ain't gonna be close. Tennessee's got this one.
South Dakota State, the team you had just mentioned, takes on number 17 Oklahoma State. Who you got, Juicy?
I got the Cowboys.
Man, I would love to see South Dakota State just wreak havoc and beat Oklahoma State in the
Nah,
first
man,
week.
Oklahoma State's got too much offense.
Yeah, they got a lot of offense, but we'll see what happens there. Um, I got Oklahoma State. I think they'll get the job done there. Akron taking on number 2 Ohio State. Ohio State it has officially taken over as the number one
That's what I thought.
highest
I
point
knew I
spread.
saw like 50 points or something.
48.5 point favorites. I got
Oh, it
Ohio
went
State
down.
winning this one. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh, it's went down by 2 points. I have Ohio State crushing Akron.
Okay. Colorado State versus number 4 Texas. I have Texas winning this one. They're favored by 32. Who you got, Juicy?
Hook 'em horns. Give me Texas.
All right. Number 19 Miami. The U taking on Florida. They go to the Swamp.
Oh,
Miami is favored by 2.5 points, so it's a very close
oh,
game. You think Billy Napier and the Gators able to pull one off?
oh! Here is my upset pick right here. I'm going with the Florida Gators over the Miami Hurricanes. I'm gonna
Man, are
take
you
the
reading my
upset
mind
pick.
too? Look, I think I'm gonna go with you with that one. I think Gators do upset Miami, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think they like everybody knows, like everybody's just talking about the Gators schedule, and I think they're gonna use that as momentum, and they're gonna come out and they're gonna shock Miami. And this is a good rivalry game. In-state rivalry, you can't get better than that.
Mhm.
Rivalries are what built college football. So give me the Gators, knock off number 19, Miami. Western Kentucky versus number 5, Alabama. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh man, I got Alabama in that game.
Even with the new head coach?
Even with the new head coach, I still don't think Alabama's downgraded that much.
Yeah, he's won everywhere he's been.
But that wasn't
I, I
Alabama's first choice, though.
I got Alabama winning this one though too. Furman taking on number 6, Ole Miss. Who you got, Juicy?
The Rebels. Give me the Rebels.
Yeah, I got Ole Miss winning this one as well. UT Martin versus number 18, Kansas State. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh man, I'll take the Wildcats.
Yeah, give me Kansas State. I think they'll take care of business here. Idaho versus number 3, Oregon. Idaho is not an FBS team. They went down to FCS a couple of years ago. Uh, I got Oregon winning this one. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh, I got Oregon crushing Idaho in this game.
Number 7, Notre Dame taking on number 20, Texas A&M.
Oh, I
Three
forgot
point
25
three
matchup.
point favorites is Texas A&M in this one. Who you got, Juicy? Notre Dame's on the road. They go to College Station.
Oh man, well, give me Texas A&M then. If Notre Dame's going to College Station, I'm gonna go with Texas A&M. Even with a new head coach, because like you asked me on the last one, I'm gonna still pick the Aggies.
I just think that A&M is like not just an instant rebuild. It's going to take them a couple of years to get back to where they were. Um, because they got hit by the portal pretty hard when Jimbo Fisher left and got fired. I don't think they got enough just yet to beat Notre Dame. Give me the Fighting Irish to knock off number 20 Texas A&M at home. Go and plant the Irish flag in the middle of College Station. Fresno State versus number 9 Michigan. I got Michigan, but I'm a little bit worried about this one because
Jim
of all the
Harbaugh's
distraction
gone.
around Michigan program with all the sign stealing scandal that's going on right now and the looming sanctions and stuff. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Michigan as well. I still don't. I still think with all the distractions and everything, I just don't think it's that bad to where they would lose to Western Michigan.
New Mexico taking on number 21 Arizona. Arizona's favored by 31. I got Arizona winning this game. Who you got, Juicy?
I've got Arizona.
All right, and I mean we've already picked that one, but number 23 USC versus number 13 LSU. LSU's got a 4-point favorite as this last update. It looks like I want to see if they have So it's 4-point favorites. The over under is 64.5 points. So if you think they score more than 64 points in this game, I think we had said what 31-17. So I'm gonna go under. Yeah, I'm gonna go under on that one.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll.
No, I don't think they'll get to 4 points.
Boston College taking on number 10 Florida State. Juicy, who you got in that game?
Oh,
It's a Monday game.
you know what? Give me Boston College, man. I'm gonna pick Florida State to lose again after that Georgia Tech loss. Give me Boston
I,
College.
his first game. I'm sure Mike Norvell is going to be kind of getting his guys ready to play. I mean, that's about as bad as you can start it here, but they still got a lot to play for in this game. I do think they're going to recover, and I think Florida State's going to beat Boston
I've
College
actually heard Georgia
on
Tech
Monday.
might be pretty good this year. They got Haynes King as their quarterback, and I've heard Georgia Tech might actually be pretty decent this year, though.
All right. Well, I think that's all the games. We got top 25 picks here. Anything you want to say, Juice, before we get off the air here?
No, I think that's it. Anybody playing fantasy football out there, good luck this year.
Yeah, we just did our draft
Yeah.
Saturday, was it, right? Or Sunday?
Yeah, me
It's
and
one
Chief
of those days.
Chief is the commissioner of our league, so
Yeah,
he's
the
in
league
charge. But
commish.
yeah, we wish everybody luck on fantasy football that's
Yeah,
playing here.
I'll see how my first round pick with Tyreek Hill does this year. I drafted Nick Chubb in my hero RB last year, and he
He'll
got
be
injured,
out
and I
for.
still somehow won that fantasy league.
He's a good
Luckily, I had
stash
Rashad
though.
White. Wait,
He's a
what?
good stash. He's a good stash this year. He's gonna be missing like 4 games at least, but
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
it's a long
Jerome
season though.
Ford. Jerome Ford might take some carries from him, but we'll see. I
He's a
mean,
good backup too, though. Jerome Ford.
yeah. But well, thank y'all for tuning in here to the Fishbowl Radio. Hope you have a great and wonderful night here. We'll see y'all here next time here on the Fishbowl Radio. We'll see y'all Saturday at Cajun Field. It should be a fun one out there, but make sure you bring a poncho because it will be pouring down rain. I'm pretty
All
sure
right.
by the time kickoff comes. So, but we'll see then Sunday. We'll watch LSU take on USC. So thank y'all for tuning in here. We hope to see you next time here on the Fishbowl Radio. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.